Hey guys, what's up? Prism Fishing here. As you can see from everything on my desk, got another box here for you. This is the Googan Mega Mystery Kit. This is box number 5. So I already opened all this stuff. I actually put some things in my tackle box already, but I got it all back out just so I could go over it with you guys. Got a little something else here. Check this guy out. Googan Squad 7-inch contender. Now this guy is an absolute beast. I'll talk about that in a second. That did not come in the box, but all of this stuff did, plus some other things. So first up, I want to talk about the blooper here. It's a topwater popper. Very cool looking. It's in ghost gill color, one of my favorite colors by the Googan Squad. As you can see, it's got a little cup mouth. And yeah, it's got a little chartreuse tail, chartreuse feather hook at the back. And this will absolutely rip in the summer. And especially in the spring too, when all the frogs come out. You're just popping this thing across the surface. Every single fish loves poppers, for the most part. I've had amazing luck on poppers. I love using poppers. Poppers are amazing. Next up, we got the clutch here. This guy's in mudbug color. I'm trying to work on using lipless crankbaits. They're not my favorite lure to use, but they're pretty interesting. They look cool, and you can fish them at any depth. You know, you just let it sink or you reel it up. As you can hear, it's got some nice rattles in it too. Sharp hooks as always. Googan Squad across the board has sharp hooks. Even on this giant guy here, really sharp hooks. I'll talk about that later. Back to the box. You guys know I'm a fan of jerkbaits. This is the Scout. This is the full-size Scout. They make a junior Scout, which is a little smaller. It only has 2 treble hooks. This guy's got 3. It's in chrome shad color. I mean, I don't know if that's the exact name of it, but it's chrome shad, basically. Really cool looking guy. You guys know I love jerkbaits, and it's got a deeper rattle than the clutch. Another thing. So you guys can see on mostly all Googan baits that you can actually fish to a specific depth. They have it right there on the bait, so you don't have to figure out, what depth did that go to, or something like that. So it tells you straight up. I mean, obviously the clutch doesn't have it because you can fish it at any depth. The blooper, it floats. But these guys right here will tell you the depth. Now I'm not going to open these guys. I got hooks, jigs, another crankbait, deep diving crankbait, spinnerbait, and a frog. I'm not going to open these guys because I'm giving them away to my grandpa. I'm going to send these to him. But I do have those Googan baits already in other colors. So let me pull those out. So right here, the Zinger, chartreuse white color. You can see you got a Colorado blade here in gold and a willow in silver. Chartreuse white, you got a little orange on the head. It's really good. I love using spinnerbaits. I don't throw them too often, but when I do, I normally get destroyed. One time I was fishing in the fall, and a 5-pound bass ate it right as it hit the water. That was fun. The Filthy Frog. Topwater frog, hollow-bodied. You can see it exposes the hooks when a fish bites down. I mean, it's a topwater frog. Nothing really sets this apart from the others. It's a bit stiffer plastic, so I guess that's that. It's a little stiffer plastic. It's not as soft as some others, so maybe a little bit more durable. But yeah, you can see all black color. I'm excited to try that out this summer. It says "Eat Me" across the top. I like to call it the Eat Me Frog. Alright, up next we have the Banger here. This is, again, in the ghost gill color. 2 to 5 feet, because it says so on the bottom. Square bill crankbait, so you just swim this thing down, and it'll deflect off color, and it'll shake back and forth. It's got really deep sounding rattle. But yeah, I love throwing crankbaits. I mean, the hooks are really nice. The profile is pretty slim, so you can really get bit on a lot of different things. I've actually caught bluegill on these crankbaits. I mean, who would complain about getting just the big bluegill? I mean, honestly. I mean, I've had bluegills that engulf the entire treble hook, so I mean, it works for all species, but mostly bass will eat it, obviously. Yeah, great bait there. Love it. They do come in a mini size and a big size. Same with the clutch. I don't think with the blooper, and then as I said with the Scout, it has a junior version. Up next is the Recon. This is their deep diving crankbait. As you can see, the profile is a little bit bigger. It's pretty much same across the board. You can see this guy, 8 to 12 feet. This is the Mondo shad color, also known as the sexy shad color. Pretty versatile color. It'll catch fish across the United States or even in other countries, I bet, but this guy is a tried and true color that the professionals stand by. It's got a really high quality lip on it. It's got some orange detail on the underbelly. I want to say gold, but it's more of a mustard yellow lateral line. It's got a cool pattern on the front. That's the Recon. Let's see what else we got. The jig. The jig and the hooks. Well, I guess let's talk about the hooks. Offset, shank hooks. I mean, there really isn't much to say. The Googan Squad hooks are super strong and they don't have as much bend in them. You could throw Texas rigs or anything else on them. You can even put swim baits on this. I actually have one right here. I don't know if it'll fit. No, he won't fit. Too small. So, I mean, you throw some bigger hollow body swim baits or things like that, just throw them on these hooks and it'll be the absolute juice. Up next we have the Juice Jig. I mean, there really is no reason to take this out of the package, but I'll pull one out here in a second. It's my dog barking. Okay. It's a jig, 3/8 ounce. Fish it on the bottom, just hopping it along, and it'll get bit. In 2020, I really tried to use jigs. Haven't caught too many fish on them. I'm not a jig professional by any means, and I'm sure a lot of people love throwing jigs. I'm more of a power fisherman. I like throwing these crankbaits and jerkbaits and things like that. Things that you can just use all the time and it'll get hit after hit after hit. Jigs, you're kind of slow. You know, you cast it out, let it sink, and then you just hop it along. So, not my preferred fishing style, but I know some people really, really love jigs, and this is definitely a really good jig. I've caught some fish on it in a black and blue pattern. It's in the rotten pumpkin color. This guy is. I mean, you can see the orange and the nasty green. Now for the main event. This did not come in the box, but we got the 7-inch Contender swim bait by Googan Squad. This guy is an absolute beast of a bait. This is my first actual big swim bait, and I actually do have a rod to throw this on. And I use air quotes because I actually snapped the tip off this rod like 3 or 4 times. So it's really not meant to be a heavy bait rod, and it doesn't really have any action either. It's pretty much just a very stiff rod. Alright, I just pulled out 2 other swim baits just for comparison for why this is such a big change. So first up, Mike Buka Baby Bull Shad. Really, really detailed looking swim bait. As you can see, it's got 3 joints. It's got some nice colored eyes on there and a really detailed rainbow trout pattern. The hooks are sharp too, almost as sharp as the Googan hooks. It's got a little feather tail here. You can see. It's not like rubber. These are actual like bristles coming out, so that'll be interesting. This, I believe, I can't remember the weight of this guy. Definitely not an ounce. This guy right here looks kind of funky. I forget what this is called, but it is a Fish Lab swimming gill swim bait. I mean, I've never. This was my first actual swim bait, and I say actual swim bait because dogs again. I've really only used the soft plastic swim baits, you know, the paddle tails and things like that. So this guy, I was like, well, it's pretty cheap. I'll pick it up. And it looks pretty decent. I haven't caught any fish on it yet, but I also haven't had the chance to really throw it. But this summer, you guys already know, I'm going to try and get some huge fish, pike, bass, you know, things like that. So that's why I said, well, let's just go ahead and buy this guy and go all out. 7 inches, guys. The smaller size of this is 4.5 inches. And this guy right here is 1 3/4 ounce. That's pretty hefty. Going from, you know, this, or even this, to this guy. This is super high quality, guys. So normally, swim baits of this size can go for like 40, 50 bucks, even more expensive into like hundreds of dollars for the quality too. Let me just explain what I mean. So this guy right here, it's got some nice joints, interchangeable tail. I don't have any interchangeable tails. You can see how you can just slide it out and change a tail. They actually have swivels on these hooks, so I can just keep spinning it and spinning it and spinning it and spinning it. But you're probably thinking, why would they put swivels on this bait for the treble hooks? Now, the fish, when they bite, they can use the weight of the lure to use the leverage and throw it out of their mouths. But if they grab onto it and, you know, they're trying to move their heads or whatever, they just spin without being able to get that leverage. So you'll actually keep more fish on just by that swivel. That's a really good detail. This guy was only 25 bucks too. So entry-level swim bait, if you're getting into swim baits, big fish, this is the way to go. I mean, you guys know I'm kind of biased against Googan Suad stuff because I absolutely love it, but they make good stuff. Everything they make, I've had no complaints about. Everything that I have used, I haven't used, for instance, the frog. I haven't used the frog. I haven't used the blooper either, but I already know it'll be very good to use because I've used poppers like it in the past. But this guy right here, I'm so excited, guys. Make sure you drop a like. Let me know what you guys want to see me catch this summer. I mean, obviously I'm going to go after pike, bass. If you guys want to see me head to a creek or something like that, fish around, maybe catch some rainbow trout, things like that, let me know in the comments below. Without further ado, guys, that'll be it for me. Stay awesome, and I'll catch you on the next one.